Hey y'all and welcome. I thought that I would give you a little tour of my front gardens today. These are just front flower beds. I live in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We're in zone 7B. You can see here my daffodils. We had a rough frost I guess a week ago. Maybe it was earlier this week. And so they haven't quite opened all of their buds yet. There's my little bunny. As you can see on the grass, I haven't started working on grass yet. We haven't decided if we want to do grass or if we're okay with the clover. We're still deciding. We bought this house, maybe 2 years ago. I think this is our second spring. So we're relatively new to these flower beds. There's some daffodils sprouting and a few tulips and my son's watering can. Oh, and I planted up the two front pots, put a little color in for the spring. And that was my front porch. And I've got some azaleas. You can see they haven't started really blooming yet. Starting to bud up. Here's a close-up of them budding. Then there's what they looked like last year. So pretty. Here's some more azaleas. I got some monkey grass. That's our, excuse my hose and my husband's disc. That's some daffodils popping up. But that cord you see in the back, we've got a automated water system hooked up to the garden bed in the back. That's just the closest spigot that we had. Some more azaleas. You can see where I've started to dig out the bricks that have been covered. Some more daffodils. In this area, I'm going to put that black cow down. They need a little help. As you can see, we're late March now, and my daffodils still haven't opened up. I think my sweet husband planted them for me. I think he planted them a little too deep. And they were a little clustered. I did dig some out, and I'll show you where I put them. There's my painted fern. He's so tiny. I planted him last year, and you see there's a Johnny Jump Up. If anybody would like to come take all of my Johnny Jump Ups, you're welcome to have them. I don't want them. I got that painted fern at the J.C. Ralston Arboretum sale last year. And starting back at the driveway, here are my mums that we planted. They got a little frostbitten, as you can see. We planted these last fall, these mums. I didn't expect them to come back, but they sure did. I thought their roots would freeze just based on where they are in these two little pots. I didn't bring them in or anything. But I'm glad they came back, even though they did get a little bit by the frost. And over here we have the hyacinths underneath the lamp pole. And then we've got another bed. Now in the front yard, we have 3 huge oak trees. So everything is planted underneath the oak trees. I've got some euchera and that's a hosta. That is a guacamole hosta popping up there. I'm excited for him. He's going to be a bright pop of color underneath that oak tree. And he was very tiny last year, so I'm really excited to see him growing this year. There's my little tag for him. There's a euchera right there. I don't remember the variety. This one has not been doing very well for me. He may need to be moved. He might be getting not the right sun. He did get bit by the frost. Here's a Brunnera that is thriving. Did not care about the frost at all. You can see he's got some blooms on him. looking fantastic. He also lives on top of an anthill, which is interesting. He was there first. Here are some tulips. They are struggling. They did not overwinter very well. We did not have a very cold winter this year. There's a squirrel hole. And here we have another hosta. This is the kimono dragon hosta. It'd be fun to see how big he got. Here's another Brunnera, and this one was very affected by the frost. And these two are in the same bed, so it's really interesting to see how the frost affected them differently depending on their placement around the big oak trees. And then this one, as you can see on the ends of the leaves there, was also affected by that frost. So super interesting. Super interesting there. That these guys were so affected. And then the one, you know, just 5 feet away wasn't affected at all. Here's a euchera doing just fine, living its best life. I got him at the J.C. Ralston as well last year. He was very tiny when I planted him. So he is growing, doing just fine. I hope I didn't just make you a little dizzy. Here we have now this is in the bed in front of, this bed has been built up because I really wanted to plant a oak leaf hydrangea, and he is budding. This is his 3rd season with us. I planted him right when we moved into the house. So this is his 3rd season. He did not bloom the 1st season. 2nd season he got hit with a late frost. This time I went out and covered him up with a towel, and his buds, seem to have survived, and I'm really excited to see what he is going to do. This is in a pot right next to that hydrangea. It's got a hellebore and this blue ground cover. I don't remember what the blue ground cover is called. Let me try and get the zoom to focus on this little hellebore. He is so sweet. But he overwintered. I planted him last season and he came back to us. All right, now I have moved down by the road. This is a mock orange given to me by my mother-in-law. I need to show you a picture of hers. Her mock orange is magnificent. Mine is just a little twig that she clipped for me, and you can see here it is starting to bud. We were afraid that he wasn't getting enough sun being near these oak trees, but I think he does get full afternoon sun, so I think that we're going to be okay. And look at those buds. They're so tiny. Very excited to see this one in bloom. They smell so good. I'm very, very excited. Just absolutely beautiful. And he's just a brand new plant. He's got some new growth there at the bottom as well. So that's really promising that he's doing so well over here. There's some creeping phlox. I've got 3 planted. Those are new this year. I planted them maybe a couple weeks ago. And then this is where I moved the daffodils. I've accidentally created some kind of weird walkway down to the mock orange, flanked by daffodils. I need to put something in the center there. Over here is some astilbe. This is, I planted last year. He's come back, very excited. I planted 3 astilbe over here. This is one of them. And the second one is just starting to pop up. Can you see him? There he is. Right there, so tiny. And then the third one, I haven't seen any evidence of him coming back. So I don't know if he just wasn't happy there, if they're too close together. Maybe the tree took too much of the water. I don't know, but he didn't come back. And then this is another hosta This is new this year, I believe. But he is freshly planted. I moved a sugar shack bush and planted him. You see, he got a little damaged in the frost. I moved a sugar shack to the back to get full sun and put the hosta there. I don't know what I was thinking when I put that sugar shack there. It was just a mistake. I'm human. Here's another hosta that did beautifully last year, and he's come back and super excited. We just cleaned some of that leaf litter away. Yeah, so super excited. He should be pretty big. He's the jet blue, I think, is that variety of that hosta. So yeah, super excited about that. And then this is a bloomerang lilac. And I debated putting it in full sun because usually lilacs are in full sun, but usually lilacs are north of us. And there are not a lot of varieties that we can grow. Now, this will not, so I'm told, this will not have those big, beautiful blooms like they would if you lived in, oh, I don't know, New England somewhere. But it does bloom and it does have a lovely scent. It bloomed last year. You can see it's budded up and getting ready to bloom again this year. So excited for that. This is a Sandra Bernhardt peony, and she needs to be moved. In another video, I'll show you how well the other peonies that are in full sun are doing. I was hoping that she'd be okay with morning and afternoon sun, but she's not. Here's a hellebore, new to us this year. Obviously, it's not a new hellebore, but it's new to us. And this is a blue Nantucket hydrangea. He got bit. His little new foliage got a little damaged in the frost that we had. Unfortunately, I couldn't cover everybody. I guess I could have. I didn't cover everybody. And then over here, that is a white feather hosta. I had two last year. I have not seen a return of the other. I'm hoping, though, that that one will perform. As you can see, I'm in the middle of mulching this bed. Those are the oak trees. And we've got more hellebore and lungwort down here. There's some Trevi fountain, lungwort, some, I don't remember the other varieties off the top of my head. That is a hellebore, or a Lenten rose, also known as. So pretty. Those have done so well here. So well. We did have some pretty bad aphids last year. I tried to, there's the lungwort, all budded up and beautiful. I tried to release some ladybugs, and they seem to at least keep the aphids off the garden, the vegetable garden. And a beautiful close-up of that lungwort. So what we did when we created these beds, we cut out the grass that was here, and we ordered a chip drop from our local arborists, and they came and dropped off about 20 yards of, there's a weed, of chips, wood chips. I put down a layer of mushroom compost and some local compost. And then I did chip drop, put down about an inch, maybe 2 inches of wood chips. We let that sit. And then last year I didn't add anything to it. I didn't do anything. And then this year we're putting down another layer of pine bark mulch. So the beds are looking really well. They're doing really good. Everybody's happy, healthy for the most part. Look at that beautiful, beautiful Lenten rose. So over here, There's another hosta. In this bed, I've really done astilbe, hosta, lungwort, and Lenten roses. There's an astilbe back there by the pine bark mulch. There's also a few other little plants in here. Some that will pop up a little bit later. There's another lungwort. What is that? Moon? I don't know the variety. I can't read that as well. But there's 3 different varieties of lungwort in this bed. I'll have a little bit different habit. So that'll be fun to see. And moving over here, we have the fire and ice hosta. I planted 3 so far. I have some more to plant, and I think I'll bring you along. We'll do a video together, maybe, when I plant the bare root hostas. I need to do that soon. It's time. And some more Lenten rose. As you can see, this is a new bed. This is a new garden. We dug these 2 seasons ago. There's another hosta. There's an epimedium as well. But these are relatively new beds, and I'm super excited that you're here. I'm super excited that we're going to build these beds together. I hope that I can ask you questions. I hope that I can answer some questions if you have any. This is just going to be so pretty. I'm hoping to make this just a inviting space where neighbors can come over, friends can come over, family can come over. We do live in the city. We are not a big farm or anything. We've got a little less than half an acre. We are lucky to be on a double lot in our neighborhood. But this is definitely manageable for me. And I'm super happy to be here. I don't know if you can see, I put a little path in this bed by just not putting down the pine bark mulch in one little area. I think you can see it when it spans up. There we go. That'll just be a little path. Just a little cut through to the back where the veggie garden is. So, yay. Thank you so much for joining me on my little garden tour, and I hope you have a great day.